We're following the heartbreaking devastation from the deadly flooding in Texas. Here in Kerr County, one of the hardest hit areas, the rising death toll includes at least 36 children. The destruction left behind reflects just how quickly and ferociously the floodwaters came in that fateful night. And I met up with a family of 9 who was gathering at their home here in Kerrville for what was supposed to be a fun-filled 4th of July weekend. It quickly turned into a fight for their lives.
It's hell. It's whatever, but we're alive. God was with us every second, provided what we needed.
An incredible story of survival for this Hunt, Texas matriarch and her family.
Right, there's the escape hatch.
Right there,
Yeah.
the escape hatch.
Yep.
So you all squeezed through that time?
Well, I was the hardest one to squeeze. That was the problem. I couldn't diet fast enough to get out there. But anyways.
But
yeah.
you got out. 83-year-old Penny Dupree was the first to wake up and sensed something was wrong in the early morning hours of July 4th.
I got up to go to the bathroom. Yeah. And when I went to the bathroom, I flushed it, and it goes. And I went, again, you know, we're having plumbing problems. So I laid down for a few minutes, and I went, you know, it's rained a lot. I think maybe I better check the front of the house. And that's when it was just flooding already.
Her daughter, Carrie Wilt, who lives 2 miles down the road, explains how all 9 people staying at the house managed to escape.
So they gathered everybody up into the sleeping loft. This is where the grandkids slept, right? And they all got up to there, and you can see as you pan around that where the water level was. Pop, 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 pop. Each one of them had a buoy, and were just hitting it and trying to get out.
Who was holding the babies?
Their parents. So they had a whole system, and in getting them to safety.
Oh my God. Wow, this is insane. I can't believe they survived.
It's not insane, it's a miracle.
So just imagine they're up here, 7 adults, 2 babies, 2 dogs, and the water is rising so quickly, they're trapped. And the only way to get out was somehow to burst through. And so they just grabbed something, and the 3 men were trying to create this. And all they had in the pitch black was a baby monitor light. Most of their possessions are gone, but they're left with the most important thing.
We have 9 lives. We have everybody's safe, everybody's healthy, barely a scratch on anybody.
And a connection to their family history, while a little battered and bruised, is another story to tell.
My great-great-grandmother is Frances Hodgson Burnett. She's the author of The Secret Garden, Little Lord Fauntleroy, A Little Princess, and 50 other books. And my mother was the keeper of, you know, kind of her stuff. So she remained actually hanging here throughout. She got waterlogged, of course, but she's okay. A lot of laughter was had in this house, right?
You are exactly right.
Another win.
And plenty of laughter still to come.
That's my dad.
Yeah, we found it.
Oh.
The coffee, he's in there. We found his ashes.
Oh my gosh. Should we move the Dr. Peppers off of him? Just give him some dignity here?
He would somehow find that amusing, I think.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's sitting around in a circle by the rubble, because they're still on this side of Earth and together. You must have thought at one point, though, you were going to die, or...
No, I didn't.
didn't?
No, because that's not an option.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'll tell you, people here in Texas, they are tough. And as you saw, Penny's house is unlivable after the flood. I asked the family where she'll be staying, and her daughter says she's moved in with her, that she's thrilled to have a new roommate. The Dupree family does have a GoFundMe to help with the rebuilding process. Here with us now are Kerrville Independent School District Superintendent Dr. Brent Ringo, the high school assistant football coach, Evan Owens here in Kerrville, the high school for the city. Thank you both for being here. Dr. Ringo, I want to start with you as the superintendent. I know this has just been such an unimaginable time for you. Not only did you lose the beloved coach, but you have staff members who still have family members missing. Tell us how these devastating floods impacted the community.
It's been very heart-wrenching since Friday. You know, our school community is very tight-knit, so is the Hill Country community, and getting these notifications that we're missing a coach and his family, just one, unimaginable, and just truly devastating because he was such a beloved coach in our community, teacher. He was our teacher of the year for the high school and also our secondary teacher of the year. And so the impact is being felt far and wide, and our goal has been to provide our supports to our teachers, our community, our students, and we tell them take it one day at a time. Coach Zucker's motto was "You'll never walk alone," and so we're telling our community, you're not in this alone, and we're on this together, and we're going to grieve together to get through this.
Yeah, I went to the vigil last night at the high school and just was really touched by how many people showed up. The parking lot was packed, and everyone is really there for each other. If you would step in, Evan, tell us about Reese and the kind of person he was. You just said he was a teacher of the year.
I think the biggest thing about Reese was he came off as a super intense guy. Everything that he did was passionate, but a lot of that passion wasn't just directed at sports. He'd give you the shirt off the back if he needed it. He helped everyone. He cared about everyone. He tried to act like a father figure to our soccer program and the kids in his class, and even just a random kid in the hall that looked like they were having a rough day. Reese was the guy that would stop, try and get them going.
Yeah, tell us more about the impact he had on the kids.
I think it showed a lot last night at the vigil. We had a lot of people that showed up, and they related that he was like a father figure to them. Reese always tried to make it more than soccer. Tried to relate the adversities and the hardships that they went through on the soccer field to life. And I think it's evidence with, we had a tournament that we hosted every year, and we would have alumni come back and help us run the tournament just to be around Reese. We had an alumni game, and we would have 40, 50 alumni show up to play just because they wanted another day being around him, being coached by him, because that's the impact he left on them.
An amazing person who was really a fixture here in the community, as so many of these victims are. It is a very tight-knit community, and Superintendent, you've been actually helping the community, the first responders, providing them resources and housing, right?
Yes, we have. We received a call Friday morning to house first responders, the ones that were showing up. They were born in town by 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and they needed a place to sleep for their mission planning, and so we provided Tybee High School. We're housing about 60 first responders there. They were the first ones on scene. And Sunday received the call that we needed to house about another 225 game wardens for the rescue and recovery mission. And so as they arrived Sunday, they were being housed in our middle school, sleeping on cots in classrooms. And it's an honor and very humbling to be able to support our first responders who are showing up to support our community.
And you've been helping the camps too, right?
We have. Friday, day of devastation, the tragedy, we told our community and Kerr County we are here if needed. And so at 5:25 p.m. on Friday, we received a telephone call from Camp La Junta that there's 400 campers that need transportation. There's no power, no running water. It's about to get dark. And so we put an all call out to our drivers, our coaches, anybody who would drive a bus to show up. And within 10 minutes, we had about 16 drivers commit to showing up. And called Camp La Junta back, said, we're rolling your way right now with 10 buses, probably 16 coming. And we were able to load all 400 campers and get them to safety. We still had empty buses, and I went to the sheriff's deputy that was on the road and said, hey, we still have 6 more buses. Is there a need? And he did a radio call out, and the National Guard said there's about 300 more Mystic campers that need transportation. So we went further down the road to the staging area, and the girls are being transported to us from the National Guard due to the high waters that were still in place. And for our bus drivers to be able to give them a smile, tell them everything's going to be okay. We're going to get you to see your families.
Yeah.
They're very, very heart-wrenching as a father. Just be able to show up and provide that support. I cannot thank our bus drivers and our coaches.
Oh, absolutely. And there was that amazing video of the girls from Mystic who were singing the Camp Mystic song that was so popular.
Yes.
And that touched me as a former Mystic camper, and I'm sure it was touching to the bus drivers as well.
It was. That was on one of our buses. And the girls, with everything that's happening, the tragedy, they were showing up in the clothes they slept in. They were wearing their t-shirt, their shorts, no shoes. We didn't have no shoes on. And so, hearing them sing and still support each other, our bus drivers hugging them, coaches, our high school principal showed up. We had a driver, Aubrey Pruitt. She earned her license the week before. She had never transported kids until this call came out. And so that all call and support, we're just be there for our community, help through this process. We're going to get through it, and it's a very resilient community.
All right, Dr. Brett Ringo, Coach Evan Owens, thank you both.
Thank you.